Well, welcome back to this behind the scenes look at Shrimp at the House Recall. We're looking at part 3, page 4. Oops. It's sort of with this part, what do I want to do with her face for a second? It's sort of, I think I've been talking with this part. I kind of want to, I'm sort of looking back at Shrimp at the House 1 and trying to recapture something about that story. You know what? She doesn't have a range of. Let's favorite some of these properties so I don't forget they're there. But I find myself like digging it out for the first time in a long time, and there is sort of something. I do want to sort of address something that was mentioned in that story, and that's sort of on the very first page where we open with David and Alex talking, and Alex is indicating he's looking for a sports scholarship in college at that point 3 years later. And have sort of that idea is kind of sort of fallen out of my mind. I think I think it was just like, something that was sort of in there to kind of get the conversation going, so to speak. And I think it's to also, um, I think in those first couple of stories, I think I've sort of slightly, I won't say changed the direction, but kind of nudged the characters into something different. Why did I go there? Uh, so that probably got forgotten. That's kind of something, I sort of want to, like one of those things I want to address. I do sort of like just want to address, I guess, why he's not going to college on a sports scholarship like he was planning. Um, oops, forgot to put the caps lock on. You never. Never used to care about your grades this much. Let's see if I can get this on. Okay, there we go. Hmm. And I have to say, like, like the sort of my style. It's, I guess, the style slash skill level slash just general improvement over time has come so far that I dig it out. And a part of me is just like cringing over that first part, over that very first shrimp of the house story. Just that, not really the story itself, but it's just the mindset on that project was a lot different. It's like I said, sort of my own skills working with this, with DAS Studios, and I think okay, there we go. Let's see. It has come so far that that first story looks somewhat amateurish by the standards of what I'm putting out now, at least in my head. Um, and I sort of, and to sidetrack a little bit, I did I did sort of edit some of the set up one of the previous videos to sort of finalize. I've been editing one of the previous videos, and it's kind of finalizing, and it's probably going to be finalizing all throughout this project. And the draw on the resources is going to slow this down just a little bit. Open as layers, layer, scale layer, and we're going to 34. One thing I've been noticing, I can't see that. Sort of one thing I've been noticing about the work in general is that I've been like gradually doing less and less of the off-sized images on a page. Like the half page, the full page, um, even like the 1/3 height, full width. Sort of been going by the wayside. It's like more and more pages are the standard six panels to a page. It's almost become kind of very standard. Layered image size, which edit paste as, which like in my mind is which sidetrack from the point I'm going to make here. Um, it's not that it bothers me very much. Whoops. Edit, cut, and then select none. Because it's like almost like sometimes when you do a larger image, it can sometimes just be an excuse to sort of fill a page. It's like in comics when the artists do those 2-page splash images under the excuse that they're trying to showcase the art, but really it's to cut down on the content and reduce their own workload. Let's be honest. and even if that's not really the case, I'm not. But it's just in my head. You kind of like you've got that opinion, so I try to make sure if I do anything off-sized that there's a reason for it, and I'm not just filling a page for the sake of cutting down. Let's parent Alex to the chair just for a minute. I still no, I don't want Alex. I want the chair. So it's like whenever I do that, I want to make sure that there's a reason. And I'm not just not just doing those to, like I said, cut down on content. Give the readers less for the money, so to speak. But the point I sort of drifted away here is that this is going to be one of those. I think this is going to be one of those pages. Oops, let's focus on the head to make this. You know what? I positioned him in the chair to do a close up. So let's do a wide shot. Oops, and his hand is going through the desk. So let's fix that. Uh, and while this one isn't in the image, he's okay. Oops, let's go currently used. Because the idea here is just want to do one long conversation and move on, so to speak. Not that you didn't care about them before. Layer transform. Look at that, have to fill history. Next month. How much can okay, that's good. I like when they can square up nicely. Actually, you know what? Let's just Control C that one. And paste as new layer. And this will cut out some of the work on this. I only have to make one cut and paste. I know I should be doing that more often, but sometimes it's quicker just to do it than to to go through the work of resizing another box than figuring out if I have to. um, yeah. Um, I think long term too, and I've probably got some time to think about it, and I'm not really stuck. In my head, I'm not really stuck with the character of Monique, but um, long term consideration too is what to do with this relationship here. Is she going to staying local? Will they be able to stay together, or are they just going to naturally split up when she goes off to college, wherever she's going in the fall? And I think the question is going to really depend on what I do with his future. Because I always intended for him to go to college, but I've got this. I've got it in my back of my head now that maybe that and I'm not sure on it, so don't take this as an absolute spoiler, but just a possibility. But I'm liking this idea that he might forego college and go into something that doesn't require a college degree, or at least a 4-year degree. Oh, and I can see the picture. There we go. So the idea is, if I go that route, then I have a very long-term story arc. Um, yes, layer scale 34, and I'm talking maybe, um, if the series goes on that long, I'm probably talking about it sort of going to, what is this? Volume 20. This is volume 11. So it's an arc that's going to play out over the next, over these 10. It's going to be sort of a very slow, long arc, is what I'm saying. But the idea is, if I have him not go to college and do, then I sort of put him on the path in the next 4 stories of finding the woman that he's going to marry, and they end up, um, edit, paste his. The idea is, like, is in the next story year, in the next 4 stories, select, invert. Whoops, I already. What am I doing? Yeah, okay. sort of in the next four stories, in the background, he finds the woman he's going to marry, and then in the next year after that, he'll go right into having his first kid. That's the story possibility if he doesn't go to college. Let's see, save. Okay, so selected. We're gonna delete these keys. Okay, I don't need to expand. Delete. And delete. Yeah, question is, how close can I get him? I need him as close. Actually, as long as he's not touching the bed, his feet can go under it, so I don't have to worry. And the thing is, like, his feet are going to get cut off anyway, so I don't really need to worry about them as much as I am. It's her. Okay, it's bothering. I know I don't need to, but it's bothering me that his head is not looking at her. What are we using here? Oops. I think since I'm not going to see the bed, I may move him in closer. Anyway, let's see. It's this way. Just for the sake of the shot. Let's go off camera. Oops. Okay. Actually, just for a little bit of. And then I can pull this one back a little bit. Okay. Let's see. It's like I know this hand isn't going to be seen, but it just bothers me anyway. Okay, let's see what this is going to look like in the camera. Okay. Okay, I got these here. And this is going to be, let's make this a super large size, and then 1 1. And how much can I zoom out? And I know in universe here he's looking at her head, but it doesn't look it on page. So and I think she's gonna look up just a little bit more. I feel like it's zoom out just a little bit. It's what I'm trying to do is, it's like I have a tendency to want to fill an image like this, but then when it comes to putting word bubbles on the page, they end up covering the image anyway. So the idea, so it's what's going on in my head is how much can I zoom out for consideration of the word bubbles without. No, you know what? Can I bring her leg in? I have a feeling this is going to get cut off anyway. So let's do that. 09. Okay, so let's go. Bad enough I couldn't get this. It's bad enough I couldn't. It's bad enough I couldn't find a school to give me a sports scholarship. Oops. Okay. I think and I'm gonna have to wait for this picture to see how to resize that bubble. Let's see. Um, I think too, kind of going back for a second, when I look at that story and I cringe at the at the early work, I'm still like itching more and more to get them out of this house completely. Um, I can't really pinpoint it, but I think the general layout of this house just doesn't work for me in my mind anymore. So it's kind of like if sort of like I've really sparked this interest in my head too, as far as a desire to do this, as far as getting over that hurdle of feeling like I've reached the limits of what I can do with this series, then I almost need to sort of start over with the set itself. Not really the series, but it's just it feels like if I'm gonna continue this to Shrimp of the House 20 and beyond, then then the entire setting needs a complete update. It's like with the muscle growth stories where they're standalone. Each house I create for each of the stories is somehow a bit of an upgrade from the previous ones as far as the construction and design and et cetera, et cetera. And while I think at some point I remodeled this house just to get the polygon count down on the walls. It's, it's still, it still feels like it's 3.5 years old or however long it was since the very first shrimp of the house. Wow, this one is taking a long time. It'll be worth it though. And the reason I square it off at the largest size instead of leaving it 1080 by 1920 or whatever it was is because the picture does look a lot sharper if I render it larger and scale it down, as opposed to rendering it smaller and not scaling it down so much. Hmm. But the larger size comes with a longer render time. But the other thing with Alex too is if I go that route that I was talking about, that he skips college and I work into him starting his own family, then that's sort of like long term. I end up with sort of the same problem that he's probably going to have to move out of the house and he'll be out of the he'll be off canvas. Um, in that case, I could, I'm not really happy about doing it, but I could do something like with David's brother Daniel, where he moves out, but he's in the area, so that he's always coming around. There's another possibility too that I hold off. I'm just sort of brainstorming. Oh my god, this picture is taking forever. There's another possibility that I'm kind of like brainstorming in this moment, that maybe that's the impetus for them moving, which would put it off for another year or so. Is that it sort of serves like a dual excuse, that they decide to move. Um, they decide to move to an area where they can buy two houses next to each other, so that Alex and his family buys one house, and David and this family buys the other, so that they're living next door to each other. And also provide an excuse for David and Liz to kind of start downsizing the home, even though they've still got three kids. Or even if they don't downsize it, maybe move to a cheaper neighborhood, downsize their taxes, something like that. Oh, wow. Hmm. There's another possibility that, like, while I'm not really sold on the idea, I'm not really, I'm not really convinced it would be a good idea. The other possibility is have him move out and start a spin-off series. But then again, it's like, what would I do with the spin-off series that's different from this one? Wow. Let's see. Was the picture about to come, or is it just giving me a false sign here? Oh well. I guess I can. It's like one of those I really want to wait until I've got the picture to go putting conversation all over the page. Okay, so this is. Let's see. Okay. Oh my gosh, still waiting. I know. Let's see. Still waiting on that. Let's go there. And you know what? I'm not going to need that one, so let's just go ahead and delete it. Ah, come on. There we go. Let's see. Let's see. In my head, I'll know. I think he's getting a little too. I know I can still look at be the same. Let's see. Oh my god, I still don't have that picture. Okay, since this one's squared up, I can go ahead and let's go ahead and get this word bubble set up. Edit piece as new layer. Okay, let's merge. Wow, this one's taken as long as it would have if I rendered it in 3Delight. Okay, shoot, what's going on? Let's fix that. Okay, I guess that's about as square as I'm gonna get it, so. Control C that, edit, paste as, new layer. But then again, oops, Control Z will undo that every time. Then again, like I don't know how it's gonna play out time-wise as far as the next release. Because I do get the itch to sort of bounce back and forth with the muscle growth stories. Is sort of the two themes, the muscle growth versus the shrink stories. Um, it's this sort of they sort of provide two different creative needs, I guess. I think I've talked about that sort of the themes between the two are different. They end up getting treated differently, so wow, and this is still going. Holy crap. So it's like sometimes you have an itch to work with one um, theme, sometimes the other. And oh, finally, there we go. Let's see. And sort of like, I won't say what it is now. Oh my god, it's going to take as long to save as it did to render. There we go. And I don't want to say what it is now. But and I'll announce it on Patreon if I go ahead with it. Oops, that's right. This off-sized image, it's 20, isn't it? But I am thinking something a little off the beaten path for the next story after finishing this one in Sister-in-Law. Okay, that's not centered. Oh, see, this is kind of what I'm afraid of. I wanted the picture where their heads are centered, but it looks funny on the page if he's kind of going off the page and there's all this space here. But that's what I wanted, so. Oh, shoot. Okay, so I'm rethinking the layout here. But let's go to this text bubble and let's see if we can't square this up, hopefully. Okay. I'm just going to pop this to the next line. Yep. Oh. And this one. Okay. So now we're going to resize this bubble. Oh, shoot. Okay, there we go. Now it's square. And hopefully. Oh gosh, excuse me. Well, actually, I don't have this picture locked in place yet, so I can move it if I need to. Ooh, yes, like none. Oops, none. Let's see. Can I bring it up there? And then this one. Just for the heck of it, let's see if I can put you there. I'm not sold on this idea, but let's play around with it and look. Well, actually, it's not that I'm not sold on the idea. I like the idea, but these text bubbles might be just a little too big for this space. Yeah, I guess so. Okay, so let's go ahead and layer to size that one. Cut, select, invert, edit, cut, and select none. Zoomed out, I can't see that black border, and there it is. Okay. So let's Save image, flatten, and export. Enter. Pop those whopping 3 images into the folder, and you never used to care about your grades this much. Not that you didn't care about them before. Look where that got me. I'm about to fail history and not graduate next month. And I can't let that happen. It's bad enough I couldn't find a school to give me a sports scholarship because my grades scared them away. It's bad enough I had to make up a story about going to state so mom and dad wouldn't find out and think I'm an even bigger failure. You're not a failure, Alex. Just because you didn't get the scholarship you wanted doesn't mean it's over. I know, I can still play ball for state, but it won't be the same. I was hoping I wouldn't have to pay so much to go to school. Since I am, I'll have to worry about my grades even more, so I'm not throwing my own money away. Maybe that's a good thing, but it doesn't look that way to me, and I'll still know I let myself down. Okay, you know what? This box kind of bothers me, and I think I know what I can do to fix it. Let's just zoom out so I get the room to work. Control Z will undo all this, and I need you. I think if I can square it up, get one more line out of it, I think I can move it up. So Control C, edit, paste as new layer. None. There we go. Merge that down. Now I'm not sure if this is going to work. If I put it there, oh no, it's going to be the same way. It won't matter because I can just cut that off. But let's see how many undo layers. Okay. Select none. Whoops. Okay. Maybe I can trim the. Just because you didn't get a scholarship doesn't mean it's over. Yeah, maybe that's what we say. The idea is if I can make this smaller, I can move it up a little bit and get it away from her head. Okay, so this works. This will work. This will do what I want. Yes, yes, yes. Merge down and see if I put it up there, then it doesn't look. If I move it up, it doesn't look so bad to me. Uh, Trying to eyeball it. For some reason, it looks like it's got to go up one. But if I go up one, oh no, okay. Sometimes I put it up one and then it looks like it's going to come down one. Whoops, and I just move the box. There we go. Okay, that looks a lot better. So we're going to file, save image, flatten, and export to. Failure, Alex. Just because you didn't get a scholarship doesn't mean it's over. Yeah, okay, there we go. Well, that was page 4. Um, No, it wasn't much as far as the creativity process, but I felt like talking anyway. So I hope you got something out of it, and I will see you next time.